Have you ever wondered what your Final Fantasy main says about you? Perhaps pondered at what your inclined fictional profession implies about your very being? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Kurojakku, and today I shall be enlightening you all on such matters. Quick disclaimer, however, this is all in good fun, so don't take it too seriously, okay? And do please share your opinions in the comments below. I very much look forward to seeing what you all come up with. And yes, if you're wondering, I did just resurrect an old AVCat video just for a random shitpost. It's not the first time, nor the last time I'll be digging up an old grave just for a meme. Now then, sit back and listen while I tell you precisely what your Final Fantasy main says about you. You used to be the cool, hardcore one. Now the only thing still complicated is your ego. Half of you are just here because FFXIV said so, and the other half still won't move out of those goddamn ley lines. But hey, you are also the only true mage we have in the game, so good on you for that, I suppose. Dork. This is a glorified fizz range in disguise, and you damn well know it. No amount of giant behemoths will salvage this job. Some of you are old enough to remember when this was a damage over time job and now qualify for seniors benefits, I imagine, in which case your Final Fantasy now mirrors your final reality. The glory days are long behind you, and kids these days are doing ungodly things to that carbuncle. Fake caster, let's just move on. A jack of all trades and master of none. You're not the best caster, though still better than those filthy summoners. You cosplay as a melee, but the sword really is just for show, and your value as a healer comes in the form of swift casting Verays on half a dozen lemmings that clearly aren't worth the MP cost anyways. You love versatility, and my god do you have the best fashion sense in the game. Just take a nice close look at that stitch. Haha! Think fast, chucklenuts! These folk are those meta-hugging dweebs from earlier, but these ones quit playing during 7.1 and haven't realized yet that Black Mage is now best in role, and are actively sprinting to switch jobs as we speak. That, or you're an actual artist and you wish to kill God by posting yaoi all over Twitter. You disgust me, but I respect it. Yeah, nope, shut up, we don't got time for you. Maybe pick a real job and try again next expansion, bozo. Moving on. If the color beige was a person, you are him. The type of person who prefers white bread and winds down by watching Wheel of Fortune at night. All the spice and flavor of British cuisine, without the sexy accent to back it up. Yet, ever reliable nonetheless. Always the first to show up to raid night. Lawful good to an almost frustrating degree. The kind of person every party needs, much like the father figure most of us never had as a child. Boring, yet charming in a way. The simplest job in all of Eorzea, and I will not hear any different. Your main hasn't been relevant outside of Eureka for years now, yet you will still harp on about how good Home Gang was in DSR. I can respect it to a certain degree. There's beauty in simplicity. Sometimes the best shitpost is the one you put the least effort into. This video, case in point. Just, please, stop complaining that the game is getting too easy when your job's brain is as smooth as your scalp. The embodiment of perfection itself. Big sword, bigger ego, and most likely to rage bait your co-tank until they throttle you. So flawless, in fact, that Yoshi P has to hinder us with a janky-ass kit just to ensure too many Dark Knights don't spawn into existence. You'd have to be a real masochist to play this job. Don't read too far into that. Definitely not biased in any way, by the way, I assure you. We also really love Gunbreaker. If you stop pressing OG CDs for more than 5 seconds, you might just shrivel up and die. That crippling ADHD is not doing you any favors, and you have far too much main character syndrome to be a meager DPS. So instead, you play 3 DPS stuffed in a trench coat and make sure to shout very loudly that you are, in fact, a tank main, and thus far superior than everyone else in the room. You don't have to ask a Gunbreaker what job they play. They will simply tell you. Genuinely, the kindest, sweetest players you will ever meet, if they aren't muted and just playing songs in Limsa, that is. I've never met a bard that wasn't a joy to be around, always lifting the party up with both buffs and in spirit. Bard mains will inspire everyone around them into becoming their best self. If you see a bard in the wild, just know you can trust them with anything. Well, maybe not all of them. While Summoner is a glorified fizz range, Machinist is just mechanized Summoner. What's that? You thought this was America? You thought someone would be playing Big Iron for you every few minutes? Not the case. Instead, you walk around with a freedom launcher built like a water gun, causing chaos wherever you tread, hurling random bullshit at your problems along the way. There's two types of dancers in the world. The ones who have more hours spent in G-pose and the glamour dresser than they do in actual gameplay, or the ones who just play it because it's the meta phys range at the time. These peculiar types in particular can often be found partnered with their e-girlfriend melee DPS mains. Both of these individuals are men, and neither of them really seem to mind. These are the folk who have their RP tag permanently fused to their nameplate. Always fashionable, always whimsical, and almost always mortified at the thought of doing anything more difficult than a casual dungeon. Almost, that is. Those brave few of you who manage to pry away from the quicksands and off to see that there's an actual game attached to this dress-up simulator tend to actually be far more competent than you'd expect them to be. Haha! Nerd! Sorry, got a little carried away there. But I mean, come on. Need I say more? Who wields a book and expects to be taken seriously? This is the guy who's gonna actually you at every opportunity while drifting change stratagem by a few seconds without fail. No, I am not bitter. What made you think I was bitter about that? At least they know the fights inside and out better than anyone and will remind you of such facts mid-raid. Usually talking about a raid entirely unrelated to the one you're actually doing, but I digress. I don't know what to make of you lot, and neither does Square Enix apparently. You are as stunning and confusing as your job's design, and about as mentally stable as well. One moment you might be designing a beautiful home from which to gaze upon the cosmos, and the next, you've committed at least a dozen counts of arson and are throwing it back at the RP venues like you didn't just take out the entire neighborhood 3 wards over. I'm a healer, but Sage is where all the non-healers end up after getting sick of DPS queues or being blown up by a raid-wide one too many times. If you're not a complete rookie who's forgetting to cardia the main tank before the pull, then you're the most pissed off toxic member of your particular party, who's also forgetting to cardia the main tank before the pull. Respectable, determined, and stubborn. Those still playing Monk after it's been gutted and left out to dry are truly something. You would not think that a bunch of hooligans from the back alleys of Ul'dah would turn out to be the sensible ones of the bunch, but that just goes to show you how cooked the rest of us truly are. It is just a shame that we got a far shinier new monk coming in Evercold. Time for retirement, old man. Dragon fuckers! You degenerate freaks can't sit still for 2 goddamn seconds now, can you? Even your rotation demands flipping halfway to Narnia before every pull because God forbid we just sit still for once. Often referred to as floor tanks, which I never quite understood as most of them seem to miss the floor entirely and fling themselves into the void. I guarantee every goon main has checked their TikTok at least 3 times during this video by now. Naruto fanboys, every last one of you. That is all I've gathered from you lot. I don't know the first thing about Naruto. I still have not watched it, by the way. Sue me. So with that information in mind, I'm going to assume all of you run funny, make gang signs at each other, and eat enough ramen to kill a wyvern from sodium intake alone. Your job certainly looks complicated, but I'm far too scared to ask in fear of being jutsu'd into a sexy lady. If you remember more than 3 of your skill names at any given moment, you are a weeb. That's saying something coming from a guy whose name is literally written in Japanese. Let's be honest here. All of your time is spent taking G-poses in Kugane, telling people how great Kugane is, or crashing out in Party Finder before taking your dance partner or your girlfriend back to, haha, you guessed it, Kugane, Reaper. Now I know you all think you're the main character now that Evercold put a Reaper in the trailer. Not the case. Sorry, but the hat thing was mine first. Okay, fine, technically it was Zero's first, but she decided to do away with it, so too bad, so sad, it's mine now. I am clearly Yoshi P's favorite child, and he clearly was inspired by yours truly for the new expansion. What was this video about again? Oh yeah, y'all are very cool, very edgy, time is up, let's move along. Just stop thinking and press the shiny glowing button. Sure, your job might be considered too easy, but so what? Who cares about lack of skill when you look this damn good doing it? Ridiculous over-the-top animations and rapid-fire button spam. The perfect job for people who need both a second and third monitor just to keep those dopamine withdrawals at bay. And there you are. Every Final Fantasy XIV job, not you, has been covered. I'm very curious to see what you all think. Unless you're a Blue Mage main, we don't want to hear from you until next year. If you'd like to support my work, you can do so for just $1 a month and have your name here on all the videos going forward. Thank you for watching, and until next time.